What's up, everybody? Welcome to Gamescast now, episode 29, topic 2. I'm Alex, and we are back with our gaming talk show, a show that goes up every other week, Monday and Wednesday. This is, again, kind of the new way we do this show, where it's kind of just me talking about a topic, more or less a trending-ish topic, a big topic in gaming, maybe a gaming news story, a game itself. We also do talk about just random topics, random games, if there's nothing else to talk about, basically. But this is topic 2. So, I want to talk in this video about Inpatient, the game The Inpatient, coming out on PlayStation VR. And I want to talk a little bit about the game, but a little bit more diving into it about what it could do for PlayStation VR. Like, will this be the game that can save PlayStation VR? And when I say save PlayStation VR, I don't necessarily think PlayStation VR needs to be saved. I'm not saying that. It's maybe in a way a clickbait title or a clickbait name for the topic, but say what you want about it, but the PlayStation VR it's had its moments, and it's also not had its moments. I was super excited for VR. I had been a believer without playing it since it was announced. I was really, really excited. And by the way, I have a preview of The Inpatient. This is specifically talking about the game, so definitely go check that out. I literally just talk about the game, 5-6 minute video, really condensed, so definitely check that out. But, I was really excited about the PlayStation VR. I was right on board with it. I had never played it going up to its release, not once. I had been to a couple events. I actually went to a fan expo in Toronto, and they have Sony, Microsoft, they have stations, Nintendo recently. They have stations, and there is just playable games. And Sony actually has a really, really big presence there with PlayStation 4. And VR was there the year it was being released. So I was going to play it. The line was super long, so I never played it. So I wanted it to be good, and I believed in it. I believed this was the future. I'd watched Kind of Funny. I had watched them talk about VR and say, like, you really need to actually play it and experience it in order to like it. And I believed them. And I bought it month one. I didn't buy it day one. I ordered it off of GameStop. It came with like the Batman bundle and all that stuff. And I liked it. I think it's a really cool... The problem is it's a really cool tech demo. It's still a cool tech demo. When you put it on any game, it is a revolutionary kind of thing. I mean, we've never seen something like this in a home before. Having the world just literally be around you, you can turn 360, right? You can see the whole world. Playing the Batman game is actually pretty darn solid. There are some good games for Werewolves Within. I really do like that game. It's kind of like a Mafia sort of game. There's some cool games. You get to look around. The whole world is right there. It's really neat. It's very immersive. But there just hasn't been any games that truly have been like must-buys that have really like showed off what it's all about. In 2017, I barely played any PlayStation VR. I don't think I bought one. Maybe I bought like Eagle Flight. I don't even think that came out in 2017. I think it came out at the very end of 2016. I thought the game that was going to do it was Robinson the Journey by Crytek. I played it. Yes, it looked better, significantly, graphic-wise better, but it was very boring. It's a very, very lackluster game, and it was sold at full price, $60. I'm actually very disappointed that I spent $60 on it. I'm a little disappointed I spent a lot of money on a lot of PlayStation VR games. I bought Until Dawn, Rush of Blood. That game was really fun, really enjoyed it. I think that is a very good experience to throw people in the first time they get it. It is a pretty good-looking game. It is that on-rail shooter. It has, your adrenaline is going. It is fun. It is scary. I think that is a very good game. Ironically, The Inpatient, firstly, being made by Supermassive Games, the makers of Until Dawn, and it has that horror feel, right? It's a horror game. And it's a AAA horror game. That's what I like about it. It's a game exclusively for PlayStation VR. It's a game made by Supermassive, makers of Until Dawn. It's a horror game. It's a choice-based game. It looks beautiful. It looks like the best PlayStation VR we've ever gotten. The best VR game we've ever gotten. So it looks really good. It's got all the makings of a great game. And again, we talked about this in the preview. I'm not really saying much new, but can this game, which was supposed to come out a few months ago, supposed to come out in November 23rd or something, like a couple days before Thanksgiving was when it was supposed to come out, and it got delayed. And I was actually really excited for it in November, late November. I'm kind of glad it got delayed, though, because I was pretty burned out of playing games at that point. We had just had Shadow of War, we had just had South Park, Assassin's Creed, and Battlefront. Like, the first three came out a week apart. Shadow of War, South Park, Assassin's Creed, then Battlefront 2 came out like a week and a half after that. So I was pretty burned out of new games. So maybe the Impatient wouldn't have been so good for me at the time. I think it would have helped PlayStation VR over the holidays. I think it would have done good on Black Friday. And now it got delayed and pushed to now, January 23rd. So I'm excited for it. I'm getting it day one. I have it pre-ordered. I pre-ordered on Amazon. I'm going to get it day one. I'm excited. For the first time in a long, long time, really the only time, I'm excited to put back on the PlayStation VR headset. I'm actually looking at it right now. You can't see it, but I'm looking straight at my beautiful VR. It's a cool system. It's a cool piece of technology. I'm excited to put it on. I'm excited to play this game. I hope it's good. I hope it's like actually full. Like it's a full game. Like when you put it on and you can see like, yes, this is a AAA game. It was made for VR, but it is a game. It works. It's got a good story, good characters, good choices, all this stuff. Resident Evil is the closest we've ever gotten. And Resident Evil was a phenomenal game. Resident Evil 7. Actually, I just remembered. So that is the last time I played the PlayStation VR, was at the end of January last year when Resident Evil 7 came out. I had beaten I had gotten up until like the last hour. I had like 1 hour left in the game. And I played it just in controller, just watching the screen. And then I did play around the first 2 or so hours with the VR headset, and it is terrifying. It was terrifying. It looked beautiful. It felt very uncomfortable. I played the dinner scene in it when he comes up to you and he basically like scalpels your eye. That was like it shook me. It literally shook me to my core when I was playing it with the VR. So the VR really, really worked well with this, with the Resident Evil 7. And it wasn't even a game made for PlayStation VR. It just was announced, this game is going to be completely playable on PlayStation VR. And we never really got another experience like that in 2017. I was really excited for, is it Farpoint? I think it was called Farpoint. Nick and I actually previewed that on Gamescast when that came out. That was like the shooting game. I don't even know how that did. It's the game that they kind of sent out the gun, the PlayStation Move-ish gun with it. I never even played it, but that game looked decent, and I was excited for it. There's a game Bravo Team coming out this year, a couple months after the Impatient. I think in February or March. That game looks very, very solid. I think the Impatient, though, needs to kick it off right. It's firstly the first new game I'm playing in 2017, in 2018. We just reached 2018. The only games I've been playing so far are Dead by Daylight, South Park, Danganronpa. I haven't played any new game yet. The Impatient's going to be the first game I play and the only new game I play until Shadow of the Colossus comes out on February 6th. So, I'm going to have plenty of time to spend with the Impatient for sure. But it's the first game I get to play, and it's a PlayStation VR exclusive. That should be good. What Sony just announced recently, that they've sold over 2 million copies of the VR. I hope the Impatient sells well. I hope it does well. I hope people like it. But more than anything, it needs to reinvigorate the VR. Like, they can say it's selling well, and I believe them. And don't get me wrong. I want it to sell well. I want VR to be the next thing. I think Sony believes that. I think there will be more advances. I think PlayStation 5, when it gets announced, will have a VR aspect to it. I think they want VR to be special and be a big thing. It is special. It's not a big thing yet. So they got one half of it done so far. I want it to be all that. I really do. But so far, it has not happened straight out, and I'm a huge Sony fan. People have called us Sony fanboys. I'm a huge PlayStation fan. I want it to be good, but it just hasn't so far. And the Impatient has me genuinely excited for the first time in a long time to play the VR. So I hope it's good, but I hope it jumpstarts it because, you got Bravo Team, but then what else you got? You got all these indie games. Is that Jurassic World or Jurassic Park, like City Builder, or like the whatever it's called, Amusement Park Builder? Is that? I think that's in VR too. I think it's VR compatible. So there's gonna be some experiences, but like in 2018, are we gonna get Sony VR exclusives? Are we gonna get games specifically made for PlayStation VR? I had always said like they need something. Like if they had an Uncharted level game come out on VR, then they'd be fine. Will Spider-Man have a VR aspect? Maybe that would be the when Tomb Raider came out, it was remastered or whatever, and came out on PS4, the definitive edition or whatever they called it. It had like a mission that you could play in VR. Those are cool for now. It's cool to have those individual levels, those individual throw-ons. I think it'd be very smart to have a level in Spider-Man exclusively to play. Well, the game's already exclusive, so I think it'd be rather easy. Make the game's already exclusive. Make a specific level that you can say, if you have PlayStation VR, here's a VR exclusive mission, and you can play it in VR. That'd be very, very cool. But in terms of experiences, just in general, they need games. They need AAA big games, and they've got none over 2017 other than Resident Evil 7, which is not an exclusive, so I won't count it. And 2018, I've seen next to nothing in terms of exclusives, in terms of big exclusives. There's nothing besides the Impatient. Maybe they're waiting. They're saying, okay, here you go, Supermassive. I'd rather Supermassive make Until Dawn 2, by the way. This is a prequel to Until Dawn. I'd rather just have a second one. Maybe even make that game built for both PS4 and VR. Make it so you can play the entire game in PlayStation VR. I think that'd be really, really smart. I think that'd be really cool. Maybe that's what Sony will ask them to do next is, hey, good job with the Impatient. Go ahead and make Until Dawn 2. By the way, make a VR aspect of it. I think that'd be probably the smartest decision they could possibly make. Supermassive would already then have experience making a game like this, a VR game. So I think it makes a lot of sense to do that next. Hopefully, though, the Impatient actually does well enough for them to save for Supermassive to continue. But so far, all we have is this game, and I really hope it jump-started. I think Sony's VR system needs a jump-start in 2018 if it's going to want to sell well at all. If people want to, if they expect people to buy it going into 2018 as we go through January, February, March, you need games to say here's new stuff coming out on the system. Inpatient, Bravo Team, those are good starts. But this is year 2 now. This is a full year 2. We've already had all of 2017 that it's been out, and it came out in October of 2016. So it's been out a year and 5 months, year and 4 months. So it needs to get going, and it has not got going yet. So it needs to quickly. I'm very excited to play The Impatient. We're going to have special videos on it. No giveaway, but we're going to have just special videos. I'll have a review. I'll have some things talking about the actual game. I'll have a video kind of like this, just not in a Gamescast format, talking about basically answering my question, like maybe is it VR's best game, or like is it selling? Is it actually helping the PlayStation VR? I want to make that kind of video when the game comes out once we see the reception to it. I'm interested to see that too. Not just how many people buy it, not just how many people enjoy it, not sales figures, but what about views on like YouTube and stuff? Like, how do our videos do? You can't. I don't measure excitement levels on games based on our videos, but how do our videos? Are they getting seen? Is it popular? IGN's review, is it gonna get like 110,000, or is it gonna get like 600,000 like some of the bigger games do? Like, what's the level of interest? Do people know about The Impatient even if they don't have the VR? I don't honestly think they do. Then that is a bad thing. That is a bad thing because, if you have the VR, that's great. You're getting a AAA game for it, sure. But if you don't have the VR, the goal is, well, here's this AAA really good game for the VR. Buy the VR, get that game. And if they don't know about this game going in, that's also a bad thing. So hopefully the analytics show on these videos, Sony's trailers for The Impatient, IGN's review, Metacritic, all these kind of stuff, special videos, just random videos on YouTube talking about it. Hopefully they do well. Hopefully Sony's partnering with some higher up YouTubers to say, hey, do a Let's Play on it. Like, show us your reaction to the scary parts of the game. Get your message out. Like, tell people that it's a good game. Don't actually do that, but let their actions speak. Until Dawn, they didn't even know it was that good of a game. I don't think and I said that in the Impatient video, I don't think they knew what they had in Until Dawn at all. And I think you can definitely tell because their marketing team didn't do anything with it. It came out late August, right before Halloween. There was no advertisement of it going into Halloween. The game sold pretty darn well, and the game was spectacular. It's one of my favorite PS4 games of all time. One of my favorite exclusives, and one of my just all-time favorite games on PS4. And it's that way for a lot of people. It's a very special game, a game that I don't think anybody expected. And Sony didn't even know that they had that in the works. You know what I mean? Like they didn't even know how good of a game Supermassive made. Hopefully they're smarter with The Impatient and are ready to back it if they see positive feedback on it early. So, this video is up, today? Today's Wednesday. The game comes out in 6 days. It comes out this upcoming Tuesday. Hopefully things start picking up. I want to see more videos on it. I want to see a review. Is a review embargo the day before? Is it the day of? I want to see it hopefully early so early review embargoes mean companies have hope and they feel like their game's safe, right? They have confidence in their game. But we haven't seen a review. I'm recording this super early. I'm recording this the week before on Thursday, so I don't know where we are really in terms of that kind of stuff, where we are now currently. So I hope it does well. I'm excited for it. Hopefully you guys are too. So let me know what you guys think of the Inpatient, and what do you think of VR? Do you think it has a chance to do good things? Do you think the Inpatient can help sell the VR? Let me know in the comments below. Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Podcast Now. Like and share the video, and thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.